Hello, friends. I am Andrea Winn, heroic leadership coach. And in turbulent times, we seek grounded, compassionate leadership. And that's why I am teaching about heroic leadership. Today, we deepen the conversation about what true leadership looks like when power is actually feeling performative. I am, of course, speaking about Trump and his administration. And I am going to be weaving insights from the most recent video posted by Heather Cox Richardson with Joanne Freeman into a practical path of courage, integrity, and service, which is what we really want at this time. The heroic leadership approach, it invites us to treat leadership as a heroic journey of transformation and communal service. Leadership is not about pushing power outward. It's about aligning heart, ethics, and action for the common good. As Heather suggests, we honor the long arc of democracy, building practices that sustain people and families and communities through both the ups and the downs, the times of peace and the times of crisis. Heather and Joanne, they advocate to name power honestly and to distinguish authentic stewardship from showmanship. What I would call this paper tiger pattern describes just that surface strength that hides the lack of real governing power. And Heather and Joanne, they give certain examples like the gold and the Oval Office as just that sense of showmanship. And really, it has what I would call this paper tiger quality to it. We see this when decisions are outsourced to stand-ins, while systems are wobbling, like with the government shutdown, and people are suffering. Authentic leaders, they stay present and they answer for their choices, and they steward institutions with both humility and accountability. I'm sure that we can all agree about that. So this is where the heroic leadership lens invites us to practice ourselves courageous discernment and not bravado. And this really applies to every one of us in our everyday lives. So we can bring that lens to how we are providing leadership in our very own lives. So bringing it back to Heather and Joanne's discussion this last weekend, Joanne introduces the term Laughtivism, humor as a strategic kind of resilience. So humor isn't cruel. It's a sharp way to expose absurdities and also to reduce fear for people who are maybe being drawn into fear by what leaders in these places of power are doing. So Laughtivism, doing public stunts and memes and satire. It's a nonviolent resistance that can weaken that intimidation without inciting hatred. Laughtivism can help us to stay human and connected and resilient in the face of pressure. So if we are practicing heroic leadership, we understand that power is best exercised with clarity, with empathy, and also with shared purpose. This means articulating a positive, inclusive vision for the America that we want. Again, this long arc is what matters more than any single moment, because democracy thrives when we know what we are aiming for. It's so important for us to envision the America that we want, the democracy that we want. And so we can draw guidance from the Republic's foundations and the courage of ordinary people who defend rights. As Heather and Joanne point out, John Quincy Adams' example shows how petitioning rights and public conscience can effectively push back when power is overreaching. So what can this look like for us? Talking with people about how your rights are being threatened by the Trump administration. Specifically, you can talk about the infringements to the First and the Fourth Amendments by how people are being treated. Just talking about this, educating and dialoguing can help raise the consciousness, both with people that are in our circles, but also with Trump supporters. So we can really include everyone in these discussions, and it can bring us together around things that matter deeply to all of us, our rights. So heroic leadership, it teaches us to cultivate inner integrity through our daily practices. So grounding, mindful breathing, and safety rituals can help us lead from a centered and compassionate place. And this is the type of leadership that we need from the grassroots level up at this time. Heroic leadership, it also asks us to heal our own wounds so that our decisions are coming from a place of wisdom rather than reactive fear. Healing the leader's inner terrain is part of that alchemical process of transformation that really gives birth to the heroic leader in you. In this process, resistance becomes nourishment for growth, not a barrier to action. We can learn how to shift adversity into purposeful, disciplined action that's for the common good. So I wonder if you would agree with me that money strain in Americans was a big factor in why Trump was elected. This is a rare moment to align financial health with ethical purpose, and this is a cornerstone of heroic leadership. Money belongs in service to the common good, not as a weapon of fear or domination. And we can reframe money as a friend, a resource that enables stability and generosity and security for families. Really important, healthy, foundational things. Grounding practices can help to reduce money anxiety so that we can show up more fully for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities. Doing tiny achievable actions, like within a specified scope of time, like in 24 or 48 hours, that is what can create momentum and belief that change is possible. So the practices that I teach, they are not quick fixes, but they are really about a steady, heart-centered way of creating change and for growing into much healthier ways of being so that we can create a healthier life and a healthier world around us. We honor the ongoing work of democracy with patient, persistent, courageous effort. And when we are facing uncertainty, we anchor in the long-term values that give people hope and direction. The hero's journey invites us to face fear, to heal, and to show up for others with integrity. So if you are drawn to this hopeful and human-centered approach to leadership, I would love to invite you to continue the journey with us. We are hosting a free monthly community Zoom and coaching groups to support growth and resilience and civic engagement. I would like to invite you to a special upcoming event called Money, Peace, and Empowerment, a free 60-minute preview to launch the 30-day leadership transformation. This free program preview covers reframing of money as a friend. It covers grounding and safety practices that reduce money anxiety. And also, you will create 1 to 3 tiny actions that you can take in 24 to 48 hours, plus a clear pathway to ongoing abundance through the full program. So the event is a practical and heart-centered introduction to empowering money relationships through the heroic leadership framework. So this is a key step in shifting that money wound that has led to so much suffering in our country, one person at a time, which really is a beautiful way to create change. So you can sign up for the free community event at the link in the description. And I'd really like to thank you for being here and for engaging your own heart and looking at how you can be creating your own change within that can then really start to propagate into your actions and your decisions, and what you say in your family and your community can really create a beautiful change in your world. May we truly, as a community, move forward with courage, clarity, and kindness. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I would love to hear your comments below.